Why do men that are already in a relationship with a woman utilize their past to weaponize her?
Men don't do that. Men know that before them, nothing else matters because they're about to take that woman to a whole different level, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially.
So there's a young guy who has decided that he's going to take this guy's advice.
So my husband just turned 30 years old. I met my husband when he was 23. I was 21 years old. He accepted me not only being HIV positive, but he also accepted my 2 children that I had before him. I was pregnant with one, and I had one that was getting ready to turn 1.
I'm telling you, it's crazy out here, man.
Tell us the truth!
All right, what's good, YouTube? It's your man, Book of AlphaRonomy, a.k.a. Doc BOA. Yep, I got time today. There's a little guy running around YouTube, IG, TikTok, Facebook, and he has to be labeled Simp of the Year. Everything he says is about pandering to a woman. He tells women that they should demand $50,000 from men, which in turn pushes women into a fantasy world where they actually believe they're going to meet a man who has $50,000 to give them. There are men out here accepting all types of things from women, ignoring their past, believing that you can fix a woman's issues from her past, believing that it's your job to come in and fix a broken woman because he himself has decided that someone's baby mama is his best option. Let me rephrase. Someone's broke baby mama is his best option. He brags about giving a woman $250,000 a year and how, no man can take her because he pays her so well, not even understanding that you can't pay a woman to stay, not stay loyal. So there's a young guy who has decided that he's going to take this guy's advice and he marries an HIV positive single mom who is out of shape and whose face is always on social media telling the world that she's an HIV positive single mom who found a husband. But first, let's listen to this little guy and his spiel and help you understand what happens when young men who don't have guidance listen to guys like this.
So, baby, why do men that are already in a relationship with a woman utilize their past to weaponize her?
Men don't do that. Men know that before them, nothing else matters because they're about to take that woman to a whole different level, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. Also emotionally. He's going to take her to a level which she can only desire more of. But the boy trapped in a man's body gets with a woman and he starts to feel insecure. Now he wants to talk about her past. So how many men have you been with? What was the biggest? Like when men start to ask questions like this is pure insecurities and borderline homosexuality.
This entire clip is nonsensical because no man who's already in a relationship with a woman starts asking these questions afterwards. So I just want you to listen how this man moves the goalpost. He doesn't answer the question she's asking. She's asking, why does a man who's already in a relationship with a woman weaponize her past against her? Men don't do that. We weaponize a woman's past against her in the beginning to decide if we're going to be with her or not. And it's not a weapon. It's a tool. It's a tool that we use to gauge if the woman is worthy of being in this position in our lives. But let's listen to more of this foolishness and help you understand how a panderer moves the goalposts and shifts his words to sometimes partially answer a question and other times not answer it at all.
Because no real man, heterosexual man, cares about nothing that came before him. He's not going to put that in his mind because he understands that he sets the bar. But the boy trapped in a man's body, he floats and he's there and he's highly insecure.
Let me tell you what's insecure. A man who believes that if he doesn't pay his woman $250,000 a year, she's going to leave and go sleep with someone else. Someone can take her. A man who believes that if he even makes his wife cook or clean or do anything around the home, she's going to leave him. A man who believes that he has to become a rest haven for hoes in order to have a positive relationship with women. A man who literally says, my woman don't have to do nothing but be here. All she has to do is show up with her child. Now, I'm not knocking this man if that's what he wants to do, but to talk as if he represents alpha is a lie. He represents a diminutive man with an even smaller mind who only sees himself as superior to anyone if he outranks them financially. And he brainwashes men into believing that they should accept women for who they are, but don't hold that against them. The man has literally said that a woman with 5 children is no worse, is no less of a woman, or no less of an attractive woman, or no less of a enhancement to a man's life than a woman who has none. Now, do we believe this? No, we're not fools, but some men do, and they justify the decisions they make. So let's look at a man who didn't think about a woman's past, doesn't worry about who she got this HIV from, doesn't worry about any of that, and wifed her up anyway. Let's take a look.
I see a man who's HIV negative and a woman is HIV positive and fall in love and have a baby. Hi, my name is Brenda J. I am HIV positive. My husband is HIV negative. Come celebrate with me for my husband's birthday. So my husband just turned 30 years old. I met my husband when he was 23. I was 21 years old. He accepted me not only being HIV positive, but he also accepted my 2 children that I had before him. I was pregnant with one and I had one that was getting ready to turn 1. I wanted my husband to feel special, so I did something that I knew for a fact that he wanted to do over the years. So I decided to take my husband to the Texas Roadhouse and we had an amazing time. We had a really, really good family time. We laughed. I even embarrassed my husband during the birthday holiday thing because, he didn't know nothing about it. But anyways, y'all, thank y'all so much for...
Listen, man, let me tell y'all something. And this is not a knock on anyone or for their decisions or their choices or anything. We're talking about logic. We're talking about manhood and masculinity here. Do you know how lowly you have to view yourself in order to meet a woman who has one child, is pregnant with another child, and has HIV, and you accept that as your wife? You don't have 2 kids. She does. Now I want you to look around the world. I want y'all to do some research for me if y'all don't mind. I want y'all to search this entire country, search the world, and find me what other man of any other nationality outside of African American has done something like this. I want y'all to search far and wide and find me what man in any other culture, especially the Middle Eastern culture that Yada likes to talk about so much that he knows nothing about, who admits that they woman don't have to do nothing and they pay her $250,000 a year just for being there. A man who says, my account is her account. She has access to all of my accounts. I don't have access to hers. When you think this way, you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, I'm a man, I ain't shit. I should be just happy to have this woman. And you know what that comes from? That comes from a man who just has never had the interactions and relationships he wants to have with women. He never has. So when you look at Yada, you must understand that little fellow has never had the relationship he wants with women that he didn't pay. He didn't get laid before he got paid. So in his mind, the best experiences he's ever gotten from women is when he pays them. So he took that experience and said, you know what? I'm going to get a woman and I'm going to pay her. And then we're going to have another woman and I'm going to pay her. I'm not saying as a husband, yes, you should be a provider. You should be a protector. But if you sitting around here talking about your woman ain't got to do nothing, man, you ain't no husband. You a simp. There's a difference between a masculine husband and a simp husband. You don't have to do all of that to be an effective husband. You don't have to pay your wife $250,000 a year. And let me tell you the real damage that's being done. You got all of these women out here who have nothing to bring to the table. Nothing at all to bring to the table. And yet they still believe that they deserve all of these things from you as a man. They still believe that they deserve provision and protection because they see things like this based on people who listen to simps like Yada. I want you men to not get caught up in no shit like this. See, this fella right here, we ain't talking about him. He already caught up. He already caught up in whatever type of spirit that got on him. He caught up. He jammed up already because this is the issue. The same way you as a man, if your ass done spent your whole life and a woman meets you and you don't make no money, she gonna hold that against you. She gonna hold all of those years, even if you used to be paid, she gonna hold all of the time that you ain't been paid against you. If you caught a felony 20 years ago, when you go and try to apply for anything, a job, a loan, anything, when you try to apply for anything, that does a background check, that felony is going to pop up. We live in a world where your actions today will affect your life tomorrow. So for this young, short, sawed-off joker to be talking about you cannot hold a woman's past against her, it's crazy, because what we're not doing is holding her past against her. We're avoiding qualifications and qualities that we don't want in a woman. Now, I do agree. If you're a man and you sit around here worrying about, who a woman that slept with and how big he was and what was her biggest and what was her longest and how long she done lasted and all of that. Hey, man, listen, if those type of conversations even come up when you're talking to a woman, yes, you are focused on the wrong damn thing. But these conversations don't ever come up. A man never asks a woman about her past 6 months into a relationship. So I just want y'all to understand, who you listen to will put you in a position that you'll be regretful of, and you may not be able to get out of it as easily as you got into it. And this is one of those situations, because unless we're together and some kind of way, I give you HIV, otherwise I don't want no parts of that. Let me tell you something. HIV positive people should be with other HIV positive people. It's only fair. Why would you expect someone to be willing to risk that? It just doesn't make sense. And furthermore, let's take the HIV positivity out of the situation. Let's just talk about you meet a woman who's pregnant when you meet her. Man, listen, you got to be some type of sucker to wife up a woman who was pregnant when you met her. Now you taking care of 2 kids that ain't yours? And you know what? You probably was in the delivery room with her. Can you imagine being in the delivery room with a woman who's having another man's child? And you hold the child first like it's yours and do all of that, and you kissing on the baby and all of that, man. And bruh, you know what, man? Let me tell y'all something. American black guys are just not strong men. Yada is just not a strong man. Like mentally, spiritually, emotionally, he's just not a strong man. So he has to lead with his wallet. He's just not this man right here. I don't know how much money he has, but for a woman to have a child and be pregnant with another child and be HIV positive, you had to provide for her financially. And I just don't understand why you men feel like that's the thing you should be doing. Yes, you're supposed to do that for your wife, but whatever happened to withholding for a quality wife, man? Whatever happened to withholding for a quality wife? I don't get it, man. I'm telling you, it's crazy out here, man.